meetings that you've had this week as well?
No.
No. So she's made it to your other meetings. Just today. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Good questions?
Question first.
We have designed some tables of the challenges, and this is the first challenges. We don't know the.
7:30.
Should I add the details in the tables, such as every round points?
So this is your database tables you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay, so your database design is your database design. So long as it works, as a client, I don't mind, okay? The trick is that it works. What I am interested in as a client is whether the front end does what I want, okay? So, yes, as software developers, you should be thinking about what your database design is going to look like. But for me as a client, I don't really care, okay? From my perspective, in terms of the challenges, what I'm interested in is what the web pages look like, okay? And particularly where we're talking about the regular challenges that the volunteer judges will be judging for short periods on each day. I want for them to log in, choose the challenge that they're judging, and then everything should be self-explanatory, because I don't have time on the day to explain to people how to fill in the forms. So it should be obvious to them what they have to do, right? I don't want them to have to enter point values. Okay, so there are like challenges where they get bonus points if they don't touch the wall or things like that in the maze. All I want is a checkbox to say, did they touch the wall? Okay, and so the judge can easily just say yes or no. For timed challenges, they need to be able to enter the time. For things where there are penalties, like in the speed test, if they touch the wall, there's a time penalty. It doesn't matter to the judge what the time penalty is, they just have to say touch the wall and the system will automatically apply the penalty for them. Okay? So what I'm really worried about there is that it is obvious for a judge, as soon as they log in, what they have to do. Okay? You need that. But that's for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Should we give the rank according to different groups?
Okay.
Because,
So there's two different types of ranking that we announce in the prize-winning ceremony. For each challenge, we give the overall ranking, and that is independent of the group. So for example, in the maze, the fastest, or the one with the most points might be a beginner, but they're ranked 1 overall. And but then after we've looked at each of the individual challenges and we give the ranking for each of them, then we go to the overall rankings for each of the individual categories: beginners, intermediate, and advanced. And there it's just their total points for the teams.
Okay, thank you.
Well, if a team can't go to a certain challenge, how could they tell us? They will email us or?
Usually they would go to the admin, so we have a table where there's always somebody sitting there monitoring who will have admin access, and the admin, I guess, so we generate a schedule for each team and also for each challenge about which team is meant to be at each challenge at each time. And I suppose if a team notified us that they weren't going to make it to a challenge, maybe we could update that schedule. It'd be nice, but not essential. But normally we would just go to the table and say, this team's not going to come. Or sometimes the team just doesn't show up. They don't bother to tell us. And then we just, if they're not there at their time, then we just move on to the next team.
So we just give them a timetable to tell them if they don't want to take part in this challenge. We just create this team.
Yeah. So in the first week, I gave you the printout of one of the team's things. So every team will get something like that, and if they're not at their challenge at the time, then they miss their place basically. And if they turn up late, we try to fit them in. But officially, if they miss their slot, then that's their problem. Okay, that's the official line. But I think always we manage to squeeze them in.
But create several database tables. So do you want to see this table?
No. So this is what you were showing me before. This is the database tables. I don't care what they are, so long as they work.
Okay. If we use some framework such as Bootstrap and Vue.js, and is this will cause any plagiarism? And
no, that's fine. Yeah, I would expect you to use existing.
I also find some tools can automatically generate UI with JavaScript.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of software will cause plagiarism. For example, maybe some same code at the website.
You need to, if you're using a tool like that, you need to understand what the tools of usage of it are.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are a voluntary organisation,
Yeah.
so it's a not-for-profit thing.
Yeah.
So long as it's acceptable use in that circumstance, it's okay.
Yeah.
But if you used one of these things and then we had to pay a license fee for it, that wouldn't be acceptable.
Yeah. So the important point is the license.
You need to see what the usage license.
Free license, for example, MIT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay, and you need to give credit. Usually when you do something like that, you'll need to put it on the website itself to say that this has been created using such and such or something like that.
Okay.
So to
Well,
make sure that you conform to the license.
It's just a question. We don't create a product like that. Yeah.
I would expect you to be using tools that are available.
Yeah. Okay.
So if the project is open source, then so that we can use it free in our project.
Yeah, that's fine. And even some which are not open source will have a fair usage type thing for, if it's a non-commercial usage, that it's acceptable to use it. So we're definitely a non-commercial organisation. It's a not-for-profit organisation, so that makes it generally the licenses are more flexible. Okay, we don't make money out of the competition. We only cover costs.
Do we need to add an atom in the database table, which is used to modify the points all the time if something is wrong?
Yeah. So as for the administrator, I want to be able to see all of the data that's been entered by the different judges, and I want to be able to change, either like if a judge says to me, I checked this box to say that they touched a wall and actually they didn't, it was an accident, then I want to be able to change what the judge recorded. But I would also like to be able to change the team's points for that. So after the competition is finished, they'll get a certain number of points which will be based upon the bonus points that were awarded for that particular competition and the ranking for that competition, and then it calculates a score for each team. And I would like to be able to go in as an administrator and be able to change those scores. I don't think I will change them, but I want to have the possibility just in case.
So What if administrator get a mistake and take a wrong score?
So the administrator should be able to change anything. Yeah.
I mean, the administrator maybe make a mistake and they don't have to get a high score, but by mistake they get.
Yeah. Okay. So if the administrators change things, I'd like it to keep a history of the changes. Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to keep a history, for example, log, fail, and who have do something.
If somebody overrides a score, it
yeah.
should keep track. Yeah.
Should track them.
So we have discussed account last time, and I have also question about the account. So we need to have the top priority of the account can do anything. For example, administration, and the account will be assigned by the administration, not sign up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this has a benefit for you as software developers.
Yeah.
In that you don't, because you're not creating a sign-up page, you don't have to do anything about informing the sign-up people about how the data is being stored and all sort of thing. It's us as administrators to inform the people of the information under GDPR that's being stored. So you don't have to worry about that. What you do need to do is to provide me with a means of, after the competition, so I've got all these judges who've signed up with their usernames and email addresses will be stored, and I'll probably keep, for each judge, I think I'll keep their name, their email address, and probably a mobile telephone number, because on the day, if they're not where I want them to be, I need to be able to call them. And so I need to store that information, and I need to store it for a short time after the competition, because if one of the competitors challenges me about a particular result that they got, I need to be able to look up which judge judged them for that challenge and check with the judge. So I need, but it's only for a short period after the competition that I need to store the judge's information, maybe only a week. And then I need to be able to delete all that information, but I still want to keep the results for all of the teams, because that is something that people want to know forever. Okay?
I have seen there are more than one judge in the challenge. So who will input the number?
If there's more than one judge at a challenge, like in Pynoon, for example, we have 2 judges there usually. There will be one who's responsible for inputting it, but it will be the one who signs in. Okay, so one judge will be responsible.
Okay, so is there any different level for judging?
There are 2 types of judges. There are the general judges who will judge all of the challenges, the normal challenges, and
all of the challenges.
okay, that actually brings me to an interesting thing. So when we put in the information for the judges, I said we want the name, the email address, and telephone number for the judges. I would like to be able to also record which challenges they're prepared to judge. Because some of them will say, yeah, I'll judge the Hubble telescope or the straight line speed test, but I don't want to judge Pynoon. Okay, they might say that, and we do get people who volunteer that way. So I need to record in my database which ones they volunteered for. I also need to record for each volunteer which times they're available. So some judges might be available for the whole day, and other judges might be only available in the morning. Okay? So when I'm entering that, when I as an administrator are entering that day, so they'll email me saying, yeah, I'd like to do it, here's my details and here's my availability, and then I put that into the database, and then I'll use that to assign judges to different challenges at different times during the day. So I'd like to be able to record that information about the people who volunteer.
So the challenger judged by the judge, and they will judge will choose their own interest for the.
Most people will judge anything. They don't care. But some people will volunteer and they'll say, I only want to judge this challenge or something like that.
So they have they can judge everything. For and in general, they can judge any challengers.
Yeah. So normally, except for the 4 special challenges, the blogging, the technical merit, the artistic merit, and the space age, I can't remember what it's called. So there's 4 special ones, and these are special judges. So for all of the other challenges, anyone can judge them, and they will typically only do it for like 2 hours at a time, and they sign into the thing and they choose the challenge that they're judging and they do it. For those other special 4, only one person judges each of them. Okay, and they judge they do it in a different way to the main challenges. In that, for the main challenges, team comes up and say, I'm team whatever. And the judge goes, right, team whatever, fills it in, go. And then they record the results for that team, and then they press submit. And that's it, they're done. They can't edit the results or anything. For the special 4, each of them has a separate judge, and that judge should be able to go back and edit the things that they've done. So so not only can they enter results for teams, but they can see a list of all the ones that they've recorded so far and
re-edit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it says means we should make a timetable for each challenge. So which challenges for
there's a class in here at 6 o'clock today. No, I don't think. For the judges, we're a lot more flexible, and we do tend to change things around on the day a lot more than we do for the individual team members. So I don't think we don't need a timetable for the individual judges. No. Any other questions?
Well, is there any information for the team we can share?
Okay, so I don't want teams logging in, right? But I would like a public-facing version of the website. So when people go to this website, it gives them some information about what's going on, right? Then it might be reasonable to have the team schedules on there so that you can go and find the schedule for any individual team. It might be nice for each individual challenge to show like the fastest run so far or something like that, or how many people have completed this challenge. You know, just some, not enough to tell you what the result of the challenge is. Sorry, I've got a class in here till 6 and it's not 6 yet. It's close to 6, but not 6 yet. I did check. It would be nice for anybody to visit the website, and you know, they don't have to be in Cambridge or something, but they can see how the progress is going at 12 o'clock today or something, you know, whatever time they log in. So they just see some information, which, you know, if you say who the fastest person is in the speed test, for example, last off, that doesn't tell them who's winning, because there are a whole lot of other factors that go into calculating the winning score for that competition. So we can give them sort of some feeling that they know how the competition's going, but not the details about individual teams or anything. Yeah. They might know who the fastest team so far is, but that doesn't say who the winning team so far is, you know. Okay, but that's one of the things which it'd be nice, but it's not essential.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also confused about this, these rules, these challenge rules.
Yeah.
It says 70 additional points will be awarded to the robot with the fastest individual run.
Yep.
Does it mean for each round we just choose the fastest one?
Yeah. So
Or for 3?
every team has to do it 3 times. Yeah. And then those 3 times get added together, and that total time is what's used for this ranking. But there might be one team that does one run which is really, really fast, and their other 2 runs are not so fast. But the one run that was really, really fast is faster than any other team. They'll get that 70 points. So there's one team who will get one individual run, which is the fastest run of the day, and they'll get 70 points.
It means for 3 rounds we just choose one fastest.
For every single run of the day, which one out of all of the teams was the fastest one, and they'll get the 70. So we can only calculate that at the very end of the day at the same time that we do the ranking.
How could judge know the team take part in a challenge? For example, do we need any ID number or photo of member?
We just trust them to say that they're the right team. Yeah. So what I would like is to make sure that the team doesn't attempt the challenge twice. Okay, so if they've already completed the challenge, we shouldn't be able to enter new results for them. Anything else? Okay, so quick question. Roughly how much of the requirements as a percentage do you think you have complete now? 10%? No, not implemented, just in terms of captured. So, yeah, so for the for this document that you're meant to be producing in a couple of weeks.
More than 80%.
More than 80.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a critical.
Maybe not right. Maybe.
No. It is just meant to be an estimate, so that's fine. So, yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's just something that I'm asking every team every week. So I think I forgot to ask you last week, but I'm trying to capture that every week. Okay.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I have another question. Yeah, but we need to give the rank of this exact challenge or the whole day, and according to different.
Okay, so at the end of the day in the awards ceremony, so for each individual challenge, I want the ranking for that challenge, and then for each category, beginners, intermediate, or advanced, I want the ranking for that category. Okay.
Should I give the ranking of this challenge of this group?
During the day?
Yeah.
No. I don't want them to know their rank until the end.
Okay, just this challenge.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Long work from